If you're interested in what your spirit guides want you to know at this time, then this may be the reading for you, as we are going to be diving into what important messages they have for you. There are 4 cards to choose from today, and they go as such. Card number 1, representing the first pile, is the Seed. Card number 2, representing the second pile, is the Tulip. Card number 3, representing the third pile, is the Basil. And finally, card number 4, representing the fourth pile, is the Cherry. To choose the right reading for you, make sure that you are tuning out any distractions that could be around you. Feel into your body, close your eyes if that helps, and just feel through any sensations that could be cropping up within you that would suggest which pile you feel drawn to the most. Trust your intuition, but make sure to also use your discernment as you are receiving these general messages. And when you are ready, you can go into the description box and click on the timestamp that you need. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 1. So before we get into the cards, I just quickly want to say a huge thank you for all of the likes, the comments, and the subscribes that you have shared. It helps this channel out immensely, and I am so grateful. So thank you. But let's get into it. So you chose the Seed card, and as the first card of the whole deck, where this card is from, it is highly suggestive of new beginnings, potential, new growth, something taking form, something sprouting. So this is the very beginning stages of something new being born, being created. And so you could very well be dealing with creating something new, birthing something new, going through a certain transformative period in your life where you are seeing a lot of new beginnings, or where you are having to make new beginnings or new starts, maybe from scratch, and dealing with things being somewhat unsteady, unpredictable, not very clearly defined yet, everything still being sort of slightly up in the air. Maybe you're dealing with finding your footing in something, or trying to create a foundation, trying to create some sort of stability for yourself. But whatever the case, the Seed definitely suggests that you are in a period of new beginnings, and that this is a very exciting period of time for you, even if it may be a bit scary. So let's look at the pre-prepared oracle cards to get an understanding of what is going on in your life right now that your spirit guides deem most important. So as we are looking at these messages, hopefully you will be able to decipher whether you are resonating with this pile, and hence watching the right pile for you. So let's see. Okay, so pile number 1. I actually want to start off with the last card here, because as we were talking about this new potential, new growth, things still sort of slightly coming together, emerging, but being somewhat murky still, or not very clearly defined. That's what this card is making me feel too, that there could be a lot of unknown and a lot of things that are not quite making sense just yet, that there could be certain aspects in your life that you can't fully make sense of, or there aren't any clear suggestions or signs of what is going to be happening, or how things are going to be playing out, or what even the right moves for you would be. There could be very confusing energies around you, or it could be somewhat disorienting and somewhat difficult to navigate this current state of things. And so it feels like you are trying to connect with some sort of a deeper truth, a deeper understanding. This is a very like spiritual and cosmic kind of card, which talks about getting that divine guidance or getting that sort of inspiration to strike where you would feel certain clarity and a certain connectedness about your place in the world, about what is the right course of action for you, what it is that you are ultimately moving towards, or where your whole motivation for things come from. Just being very in tune with what you feel that is right for you, and also receiving some signals from the universe as well, or from your spirit guides, you know, being very, very in touch with the sort of more subtle nuances, the subtle energies that are around you, and using those as a sort of guidelines, because it could be very difficult, as I said, it could be very difficult to navigate what is actually happening around you. There could be a lot of, again, a lot of darkness, a lot of murkiness, a lot of distractions as well, right? We have this clouds card. So clearly it could be somewhat difficult to make sense what is actually truly worth pursuing and what is just a whim or just a shiny idea or shiny potential that doesn't actually amount to much. So it feels like you are trying to establish some certainty, right? And we also have this power lines card with energy. And so I do feel like there is a lot of sort of go-getter energy in you right now. There could be a lot of motivation and a lot of drive in you to actually make something happen, to take charge, to make some steps or create a plan or start bringing something to life, right? Again, we have this whole new beginning thing happening that seems to be very crucial to where you are at in life right now. And it does obviously require a lot of effort to bring something from the initial stages to completion. But with the energy card, it feels like you are either in a very like highly energized space already, or you could be focusing on things, doing things that give you energy and that make you, you know, feel alive. There is a certain energy of excitement, right? A certain energy of spark that I also feel here in the midst of this slight murkiness, slight unknown haze that you also seem to be in. But that spark is what helps you to get through that sort of unknown or unclear energy. Now, at the center here, we have the Sarasvati card with Sacred Wisdom and Essence. And this card is highly, highly connected to the High Priestess energy in tarot. And so it feels like you are trying to make sense of how to align with what you are feeling on the inside and what you want to see manifest on the outside. You know, bringing these two worlds together as best as you possibly can, or at least, again, trying to make the initial moves or some inklings of changes, right? So that these two elements, or again, the outer world and your inner world, could become more aligned and could become more in tune with each other. So this essentially, pile number one, feels like a realigning to your core essence and starting to create a new reality for yourself, a new normal, a new routine, a new rhythm, a new lifestyle, right? Something that would be more in accordance with what you truly feel on the inside, where your values truly lie. And again, it seems like you are thinking about like big picture things, possibly more so than you have ever been thinking about, and just trying to work towards making your dreams actually come true. You know, not just thinking about them anymore, or dreaming about how things could be or what you would like to have in your life, but actually starting to do something about bringing these dreams to life. So yeah, this feels like a very beautiful transformation and realignment sort of energy here, pile number one. But if you could resonate with this story, then make sure to keep on watching, because your spirit guides have some important messages that they want to share with you. And we're going to be looking at those next with some tarot cards. So more specifically, we are going to be looking at what is the underlying cause or reason for your current situation, or why this whole situation is happening in the first place that you are going through right now, what you need to know about the current situation, and also where is this situation potentially leading you? So what do you need to know about the future course that you are on? So pile number one, we are starting off with the Temperance and Judgment cards. Two very, very powerful major arcanas that are symbolizing what is the underlying cause or reason for the current situation that you're going through. So basically why this whole thing that you are going through needed to happen in the first place. Now, with Temperance, I'm just pointing out the zodiacal signs in case you resonate with them. There is an association to the sign Sagittarius. And with Pluto, you can see Pluto here too. With Pluto and the Judgment card, there is an association to the sign Scorpio. So basically, what these cards are saying is that the whole reason why this needed to happen was that you could go through a deeper spiritual transformation, right? We have been talking about this process of transformation this whole time, and Judgment is very clearly just affirming that message. This is all about this rebirth energy, and this says that there was a very specific reason why you had to start making these changes, why you are going through this period of transition. It was time for you to realign, to step into a more powerful version of yourself, because Pluto also talks about power. And so clearly there is just this need for you to realign with your truest purpose, to get closer to your pure essence, right? We had this card of essence here. And so a part of your old life, or the way that things used to be, it doesn't really resonate anymore with this new and more sort of awakened version of you that is most likely much more aware of what you feel on the inside that you need to do, or what is right for you. Also with Judgment, it was very likely that at some point in the past, maybe in the recent past, you realized that the things that you are doing, or the circumstances that you are a part of, that you are existing in, don't actually talk to you anymore. You don't really resonate with them anymore. They don't make sense to you at this time anymore. And so there was almost like this undeniable pull within you that forced you to start thinking about things in a new way, to start thinking about coming up with a new way of being, a new routine or lifestyle or priorities or habits or goals, anything like that, right? Everything to do with your life, your bigger life journey, because again, we are dealing with major arcana cards. So clearly this is talking about the bigger picture for your whole life and your journey, and what your soul is ultimately wanting to achieve. And we also have this Temperance card, and this is all about integrating the old and the new, coming up with a way to merge these changing energies so that they would make sense to you. So it's not like you are throwing your old life and all of these things that you have gone through and that you have been working on in the past away. You're not discarding them completely. You are just, it seems like, making some changes, right? You are trying to refine the balance, or trying to make the new paradigm make sense for you. So clearly there was the need to find some sort of integration And again, to transmute the energies that were present into what is more in alignment with you now. What are these changes that you have been going through emotionally, spiritually, maybe physically as well, and how to get you to realign your life so that everything would be much more logical for you now and moving forward. So next we have these two cards, which are the Star in reverse, which is tied to Aquarius, and the Nine of Pentacles, which is the earth element. And these two cards are talking about what do you need to know about this current situation that you are in. So one of the most important messages that I'm feeling here is that this whole situation is also happening so that you could heal a certain part within yourself that is tied to your self-worth and your self-esteem. Because the Nine of Pentacles is very often a card of independence and just feeling so content and so in your own element with what it is that you are doing, how it is that you are expressing yourself, and what it is that you have. And clearly, with the Star coming out in reverse, there is a need to adjust that, or there is a need to heal some sort of element regarding that. So that is one of the reasons why you are going through this current situation and what it is trying to help you to achieve. Also with the Star in reverse, there could be a difficulty with hanging on to hope. That's what is coming through very strongly too. That, as I said, this whole time could be somewhat disorienting, and there could be a difficulty with, again, finding the signs, right? As I was saying at the beginning, finding the signs or finding the suggestions that would give you any sort of indication of what to do next, or that you are even on the right path. So there could be a lot of uncertainty in that regard. But again, I feel like with the Nine of Pentacles, there is so much within you that you can rely on. And that is also part of the reason why you may be struggling to see some sort of clear symbols or clear messages around you. There could even be like a very stark contrast between how you got to this part of like awakening or seeing things in a new way or going through some sort of personal transformation. And during that time, maybe the messages from spirit, from your spirit guides were very, very clear, and you could almost see certain synchronicities. Maybe you could see repeating numbers. Maybe you could see some symbols that have personal meaning to you that you kept seeing around you in weird places, or maybe you had some dreams also that gave you some indications of what you feel like you need to do and all of that kind of thing. Maybe that was very strongly there for you as you were going through this awakening process, and now it feels like maybe there aren't that many symbols around you anymore, or you could feel like you're almost like your spirit guides have abandoned you or left you to your own devices, like you need to go through this whole thing by yourself, or you may feel less supported with this Star in reverse card. But the Nine of Pentacles again is saying that this is all to build you up for a stronger place, or to help you to rely more on yourself and your own resources and sort of build yourself up. So that's essentially what I'm feeling about this whole process as you are going through it. And also with the Nine of Pentacles, it feels like there is so much stability and again, so much contentment that you are working towards, that you are moving towards. There is so much potential here for this whole new beginning stage that you are in right now to get to a space where you feel like you truly belong, like you have what you need and you feel grateful and you feel fulfilled. And because we are dealing with the earth element, this is something that is stable. This is something that is practical, something that is physical, tangible, and something that is long-standing as well. So finally, we have the two cards that are indicating what you need to know about where the situation is leading you. And we have the Four of Swords and the Six of Cups that came out in reverse. And so clearly this is leading you to a much more stable and calm place, especially with the Four of Swords here, which is indicating this mental ease or lessening of pressure, and just feeling like you can sort of relax, like you don't have to plan, like you don't have to worry, like you don't have to scramble to make things work or to make things make sense for you. It just feels very, very calm and very present. And with the Six of Cups as well, coming out in reverse especially, there is an element of leaving the past behind, especially the sort of past. I'm just going to show you the card upright as well so you could see it. Leaving the past behind, especially the sort of past that like pulls you in and keeps you stagnant, or that almost like holds you back or inhibits you in some way, that makes you feel like trapped or, you know, nostalgic for better days, but that is actually not the best and the most conducive to your development. So there's a lot of just, you know, holding back, inhibiting, that type of energy here. And I feel like with the Four of Swords, there is not just an element of like breaking out of that place, but there is also an element of making peace with the past and being able to like leave some negative or unpleasant memories from the past behind, unpleasant experiences, some of which you may have been carrying with you, or some of which may have been inhibiting you from making the moves that you wanted to make. And maybe there was a part of you that was very much still living in the past or having a hard time letting go of the past, and possibly some regrets as well that have to do with whatever sort of quote unquote mistakes you made, and possibly also some things that you didn't do or didn't act on. So almost like these lost opportunities as well. And I don't know why I'm feeling that, because usually the Six of Cups doesn't really remind me of that energy. But for some reason with this card, I am feeling that. Like there could be certain negative emotions and memories and like almost like beating yourself up about what happened in the past and what you didn't do, or how you didn't fulfill your potential or something like that, that may have had a very profound impact on you, and that may have been keeping you stuck in some sort of unhealthy or unfulfilling routine or place in your life. And so with you going through all of these changes and working on building yourself up to a much more secure and again aligned place, something that would be more true to you, it feels like you are able to again leave the past in the past and not allow that to control you as much anymore. And also for those of you who resonate with some sort of very severe childhood programming, things that you know were taught, or things that were embedded in you that have been directing your life choices or just your life course in general, the way that you have done things, or the path that you have followed up to this point because of everything that people around you have been saying or expecting of you. I feel like there is true potential, and it feels like this is happening. It feels like you are actually breaking out of that, like you are starting to again tune out the distractions and everything else that is trying to, you know, confuse you even more. And you are starting to zone out all of that and focus clearly on your own inner voice. So that is beautiful, pile number one. But I want to close the reading out with some supportive messages from your spirit guides. And these are just really, really cute affirmations that will hopefully give you some extra encouragement. So let's see. Oh, wow. Okay. We got the perfect card. This says, beginning something is exciting. So, yeah. I feel like basically your spirit guides are just trying to emphasize the joy and the excitement and the positive aspects of a new beginning, rather than the uncertainty and the fear that may also crop up, right? Because ultimately, this is taking you someplace really, really good and positive. And I feel like, again, this whole situation that you are in is so full of potential. And this can lead to such amazing new fulfillment and feelings and joy and contentment. And at the bottom of the deck, we have my wishes float easily out into the world. So this card makes me feel of, you know, having the courage to express yourself and making yourself heard, again, making your voice heard. And again, when it comes to what it is that you want, what it is that you desire, what is important to you, what you want to accomplish in this life, this card is encouraging you to share it and to not be afraid to express it honestly and truthfully and loudly, you know? Yeah, I feel like saying, say it loud and proud. That's what just popped into my head. So yeah, there's a lot of encouragement, I feel like, from your spirit guides here. And also some positive reinforcement that even if things are not very clearly defined for you right now, or you may be having a hard time navigating through these changes, everything is happening just as it is supposed to be happening, and it is happening for your highest good, and you have the resources within you to go through this period and make the necessary choices that are right for you. So beautiful pile number one, thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me. I truly appreciate it. And I hope that this reading was useful or at least entertaining for you to watch. And as always, I am hoping to see you back on this channel very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number two. So I just want to say a quick but huge thank you to all of you who have liked and commented and subscribed on this channel. It helps my channel out so much, and I truly, truly appreciate it. So thank you. But let's get into this reading. So you chose the Tulip card, and essentially this card is indicating that there could be some slightly negative influences that you could be dealing with, pile number two. There could be certain people around you that you feel don't have the best intentions. But even if you don't really recognize concrete, specific people around you at this time that you feel are sort of working against you or working against you behind your back, maybe even, it could just indicate that you may feel like there are a lot of obstacles or challenges on your path right now, or there could be certain things that you feel are stacked against you, like the odds are really not in your favor, or like you are having to really work very, very hard to make sense of what is truly happening and what you should be doing and what the best course of action for you would be. This Tulip card just sort of gives off slightly weird energy, pile number two. And so obviously, if this is your reading, you're most likely going to be resonating with this and recognizing that you are indeed in some very weird energy right now. But yeah, we're going to look at some pre-prepared oracle cards before we dive into these specific messages from your spirit guides. And these oracle cards are going to tell us about what is going on in your life right now that your spirit guides deem most important. So as you are listening to these messages, it should become very evident to you that you are watching the right pile, as these should describe your life circumstances in some way. So let's see. Okay, we have love, focus, wisdom, banishment, confirmation, and some fruits. Okay, pile number two. So it's clear that we are dealing with some tricky relationship energy. Now, relationships don't just mean romantic relationships, right? We are talking about all sorts of relationships, friendships, family relationships, relationships that you have at work with your colleagues or with your subordinates, all types of relationships, right? How you connect to other people. And so it feels like you are trying to get very clear on the true intentions of people. So we have this love card, right? Or this like affection card. And right next to it, we have this focus card. And so it feels like you are putting a lot of energy on actually creating true and lasting relationships, true and meaningful relationships, getting to the center of what you feel that you need from your relationships, and, you know, making sure that the people in your life are truly there for you and that truly want to support you, and that the sort of connection between you is real, that it is true, that it is sincere. And yeah, it feels like you are, because of this focus card, it just feels like you are almost contracting, or, you know, pulling in your affection, your care, your love, your attention, and making it very specifically about like just the most important people, like the core of your support group, the people that truly deserve to be in your life and that you feel add value to your life, and that, again, have a positive impact on your life, that help you forward rather than, you know, take something away from you. Because as I was saying with the Tulip card, right, I felt like there was some weird energy there, and it was hard to make sense of what's what, and also that there could be some people that are not necessarily having your back, right? That there could be some like deception involved here that you are trying to like work through, or that is maybe even becoming a lot more evident for you, right? We have this confirmation card. And so this is saying that you are getting a lot of confirmations, a lot of signs and signals that are making it super clear for you how some people are possibly not the best influence for you, or they are not right for you, and where it is that you are trying to go. And conversely, there is also a lot of confirmation about the things that do add value to your life, that do bring in more abundance and more growth and more expansion and more fulfillment. This is a card of abundance, but because this is also, you know, a fruit bowl, essentially, this makes me feel of nourishment. And so, especially because we are clearly dealing with a lot of relationships, or having a heavy relationship focus, it feels like at this time there could be a lot of emphasis on sifting out which sort of relationships are the ones that truly are nourishing, and possibly also you may be making some changes within you to be more affectionate, or to show your emotions more, to show that you care more than maybe you have before. But for some reason, I feel more strongly that this is talking about the people around you, and that you could be cleaning house in a way when it comes to the people in your life and who have access to you and how much they have access to you. Because, you know, we have the center card, which is like the most important message here, really, which is talking about wisdom and banishment. And so because this is the waning crescent moon, this is the last moon phase before the dark moon and the new moon, this is all about clearing out negative energy, clearing out things that don't serve you anymore. And so at this time, one of the most important things that you could be going through is, first of all, possibly deciding to cut ties with certain people, or again, make some very big changes when it comes to your networks, your friendships, again, the people closest to you, or again, the communities that you belong to. But because of this angel numbers card, there is a strong indication that the universe is almost working with you on this, or your spirit guides are working with you on this, showing to you very clearly, or like people's true faces are becoming very, very evident at this time. And so it's almost like the universe and your spirit guides are helping you to see what sort of changes need to be made, and maybe some changes are being made for you as well, where just, you know, certain relationships, without you even doing anything regarding it or about it, they could sort of become more distant, or certain people could be, you know, ghosting you, or could be just like leaving your life for no reason apparently. But again, it feels like all of these changes are happening very specifically to eliminate the unnecessary and, again, the negative influences from your life. So if you could resonate with this, pile number 2, then make sure to keep on watching, because we're going to be looking at the necessary information or messages that your spirit guides want you to know right now. We are specifically going to be looking at what is the underlying cause or reason for your current situation, what you need to know about the current situation that you are in, and what is this whole situation leading you towards. So let's see. So pile number 2, I feel like these cards are very much just confirming a lot of the things that we were talking about, so I'm going to keep it brief. But the first pair of cards, which are talking about what is the underlying cause or reason for this current situation, why the situation that you are in right now needed to happen. We have the Lovers card in reverse and the Two of Swords. The Lovers is a card of Gemini, and I'm just pointing out the zodiac signs in case you resonate with them and they mean something to you. So basically, these two cards are seriously just confirming everything that we have been talking about. The Lovers in reverse indicates disharmony. It indicates disconnection, or a lack of true connection, and a lack of commitment as well. Or, you know, if we tone it down a bit, this can also just talk about, you know, simply having different or differing values and wishes out of life, different viewpoints and different directions. So it just feels like there are, you know, there isn't really an in sync type of energy. And with the Two of Swords as well, this feels very much like a stalemate kind of place. So these misaligned relationships, these disharmonious relationships where you were connecting with people, or there were certain people in your life that didn't truly see things the way that you see things. And I'm not talking about just like perspective differences. I'm talking about the deep-seated core values that are the basis of like mutual respect and things like that. So it feels like that was missing. And because of this more negative influence from the people around you, there was also an element of being somewhat stuck, or being in a stalemate sort of energy. The Two of Swords is a card that is symbolizing not really making any moves, not really growing or developing or moving forward in any way, just feeling like you are stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like there isn't any good options around you, and so it's almost like it's easier to just do nothing. But I feel like it was more so the influence of these energies around you that were trying to keep you stuck, or that were trying to hold you back, or maybe even just trying to hold you at their level so that you wouldn't, you know, progress and move beyond them. So yeah, this just feels slow and, again, inhibited. And possibly also with the Two of Swords, the people around you may have had an influence on how you view life, or even how you perceive the different opportunities around you, or the different options around you. And so with the Two of Swords, I feel like there was an influence, or the certain connections in your life may have tried to sway you in a more like pessimistic or passive way of seeing things or going about things, so that you would feel like there are no good answers and there are no good solutions. So just basically keeping you in a very limited and narrow mindset, and just keeping you stuck essentially. So obviously that needed to be removed from your life. And so we get to the Tower card and the Six of Swords in reverse. The Tower is a card of Mars, as you can also see from the card here, the illustration. And this is tied to Aries and Scorpio, because Mars rules those signs. Now, these two cards are talking about what you need to know about the current situation. And clearly with the Tower card being here, this was a necessary sort of disruption that needed to happen. That there was a need to, if this card could focus, there was a need to break down these constructs that were not going to last the test of time, right? These were not stable structures. These were basically relationships that don't have a place in your future. And so obviously these changes that are happening, they need to happen to make sure that you are not weighed down by unnecessary influences. And again, with the Tower, this feels rather dramatic. So, again, if you are making some pretty radical changes, then I just feel like this is a confirmation from your spirit guides that that's like exactly the right way to do it. Because it feels like with like a softer approach, or without being very clear and very direct in your expression, there could be a way for the negative influences to sort of linger, or to not get the message. And so, yeah, with the Tower, there seems to be this element of directness or concreteness that is necessary. And also, again, because the Tower very much makes me feel of like divine intervention. You can see from the lightning bolt as well that is coming out of the sky that this is some sort of breakdown that the universe is constructing for you, right? So, things are being eliminated, and that is necessary, exactly what needs to occur. And with the Six of Swords in reverse, I'm going to show the card upright as well, because this is such a beautiful, this may be one of my favorite Six of Swords ever. The Six of Swords is all about moving forward, right? And with it coming out in reverse, there is an element of breaking down the inhibitions that are keeping you in this like conflicted state and not allowing you to move to where you need to go, essentially. Because the Six of Swords indicates that there is a need to relocate or to move away from where you are right now, because someplace else is much more in alignment with you, is much more true to you and your ultimate destination, or where you need to end up. And I also feel like as you are eliminating these negative influences, as you are getting rid of these people, or these connections, or again, even if they are not people, just the circumstances that are inhibiting you, then clearly you are going to be able to break out of this space where you feel like you are not really making that much progress. And also I feel like there is going to be more of an ease, or more of a less tense energy, that it's like you need to get rid of the tension in your relationships or in the energies around you. Yeah, that's why all of this destabilization within your relationships right now could be happening. But anyway, the last pair of cards, we have the Ace of Cups and the Star in reverse. The Star is a card of Aquarius. And so these two cards are talking about where this situation is leading you, what your spirit guides want you to know about where you are being led. And with the Ace of Cups, this is a beautiful, beautiful energy of love, of nourishment, of fulfillment. And so again, this is tying me back to this whole energy being about the relationships and the people in your life. And I feel like with the Ace of Cups, you are getting to a place where you feel truly supported, truly seen, truly valued for who you are, and where there is true intentions, true goodwill from the people around you. So these are very, very pure connections with the Ace of Cups. And with the Star in reverse, there is clearly a lot of healing that needs to happen, because also, these previous relationships or these previous negative influences were holding you back from your ultimate destination, or what was meant for you. With the Star, it feels like there have been almost like some wrenches thrown in. So you were being delayed, or again, the fulfillment of your dreams, the things that you want to ultimately achieve or that you want to arrive at, those things have been slowed down by these negative influences. And so there is true possibility for healing that, for, getting realigned, getting remotivated, and actually getting a lot of clarity as well about what the right things and moves for you would be, so that you could start getting closer to achieving these dreams that you have. So yeah, this is very, very straightforward kind of a message here, pile number 2. And hopefully you could resonate with these messages. Hopefully you got something supportive from these. But we are also going to look at an oracle card, which is going to give us a supportive message from your spirit guides. So just something sweet, a positive affirmation to close the reading out with and to offer you guidance. Okay. Oh, I love this. We got card number 11, and you got the angel numbers 1111 on this card as well. This says, I have the confidence to be myself. Exactly. So your spirit guides really want you to be proud of who you are, and also to realize that you are so valuable and so lovable exactly as you are. You don't need to be a certain way to get people's approval, or to get people's affection, or to feel like you are worthy of other people's affection. So this is encouraging you to be inherently yourself and to be true to yourself. To not hide who you are, or to not feel like you need to, again, please someone else, or live up to someone else's expectations of you. And at the bottom of the deck, we have, I am grateful and blessed. Yeah, so as I was saying, right, we had these cards of love and appreciation and abundance and all of these energies. And so I feel like as you are getting rid of all of this unnecessary and negative people and things in your life that don't really deserve to be there, you are making so much space for the things that do truly deserve to be there, and that do add value, and that make you feel grateful, and that make you feel blessed, and bring more of these positive energies and feelings into your life. And so that's what your spirit guides really want you to focus on: your own inherent value, and also the truly meaningful connections in your life. But yeah, that's it, pile number 2. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me. I truly appreciate it. I hope that this reading was useful or insightful, or at the very least entertaining for you to watch. And I hope to see you very soon back on this channel. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 3. So I just want to say a quick thank you for all of the likes, the subscribes, and the comments that you have shared. It truly helps this channel out so much, and I really appreciate it. So thank you. But let's get into it. So you chose the Basil card. What this is telling me is that you could be in a time where you are trying to help other people succeed, or where you're trying to be there for other people in a way that would offer some sort of practical use to them. This could also even mean that you are, being in a role of a mentor or teacher or even a coach or something like that. You could be dealing with that right now. Or you could be just in a position where you are there for someone else with as much as you know, as much as you have to offer them, like just doing what you can to the best of your abilities to help someone else grow and to help someone else succeed. So this could even mean that you are being in a position where you have influence over other people. So, you know, you could be an influencer, right? Or you could also be in a position where someone else is doing that to you. But in either case, this card talks about support and help coming from another person. And so this is almost like this collaborative energy that is present here. And yeah, that's the sort of the initial message from this one card that was representing your pile. But let's also look at the pre-prepared oracle cards, which are going to tell us what is going on in your life that your spirit guides deem most important at this time. So as you are receiving these messages, hopefully it will be very clear for you whether you are watching the right pile or not. So let's see. We have the relationship card. We have healing, wilderness, wild woman, wildling, journey, and victory. It feels as though you are going through some sort of a process or journey, and you could be going through a sort of a personal journey with someone else helping you, or this could be a journey with you and someone else. So this could be this relationship theme as well, because the first card out is a card of relationships. We have this woman and we have this man depicted on the card. And so there is this duality, there is this some form of opposition as well, where there are, you know, two distinct views, two distinct perspectives, opinions, feelings, values, all that type of thing. But there is also a beautiful wholeness that comes out with this card. And also this, in the most basic form, can refer to communication, right? Just finding some sort of common ground or connecting to another person. And so clearly this whole situation that you are in right now that seems to have a lot of significance in your life has to do with someone else or your connection to someone else. Again, this doesn't have to be a romantic partnership by any means. Again, this can be like a teacher-student relationship. You know, again, this could be talking about someone mentoring you or you mentoring someone else. Maybe this is even like a relationship between you and your therapist or someone helping you through your journey. Because especially with the healing card, there is an element of making peace with something that has happened, or trying to get to a place of stability and get to a place of harmony after that harmony has been possibly lost, or where there have been some difficulties. At the center of the cards here, we have this wilderness or wild woman card. And so clearly, you know, there is this aspect of either something sort of falling off the rails a bit, especially if this is talking about a relationship that you are a part of, and this relationship being a journey for the both of you involved in this, then it could be that the relationship sort of got off trails there for a bit, or something became a bit too chaotic, something became a bit too out of control, or where you weren't really clear on where you were standing with each other or what was even going on in the relationship and where your relationship was heading, essentially. So this feels like a healing of that, or trying to bring your connection back on track. But if this is talking about your solo journey and someone else sort of helping you out with this, then this is just making me feel of, you know, finding this uniqueness in you and allowing that to shine, or allowing that to come out more, you know, like reconnecting with your more quote unquote crazy side or wild side that you have maybe trying to temper or hold back or restrict somehow, or make more manageable for other people, for society, for your family, for your colleagues, whatever, right? It just feels like you could be helping someone else find their true unique essence and show that more readily, or dare to show up in the world more authentically as themselves, or someone else could be helping you do that. So again, I'm just, pointing out all of these different scenarios so that you could apply them to your life. But clearly, there is a journey that you are on right now, and this is a very significant part of the journey that you are in, and this is a process, right? Because that's what this card is essentially saying, that there are going to be twists and turns, there are going to be delays, there are going to be certain obstacles that you face as you are going through this process, but essentially this is a path that you need to go through. And with the victory card coming out at the end here, that is clearly the end goal that you are trying to achieve. So again, whether this is you trying to achieve some sort of goal or vision that you have for your life path more generally, where you ultimately want to end up, and someone else could be helping you do that, or someone else could be helping you work through certain parts of yourself and make peace with certain parts of the journey that you have gone through, and finally sort of come out on top in this whole situation. Or again, if this is a connection between you and someone else, then it feels like you are ultimately focused on, bringing this relationship back together into a loving and supportive place. So yeah, ultimately the end goal seems to be victory here, or trying to make something work, trying to make something come together in a very harmonious way and make something successful either again, or, if things haven't been working out up to this point, then trying to, get there, and also trying to have the courage to deal with whatever needs to be dealt with so that you could reach the goal that you desire. So that's kind of what I'm feeling here, pile number 3. If you could resonate with this part, then make sure to keep on watching, because we're going to be tuning into the tarot cards next, which are going to be all about the necessary messages from your spirit guides. And more specifically, we are going to be looking at what is the underlying cause or reason for your current situation. Also, what you need to know about the situation that you are in right now, and what do you need to know about where the situation is leading you. Okay, so we first got the Knight of Swords in reverse with the Five of Pentacles in reverse. I'm just going to show the cards to you upright so that you can see the illustrations more easily. And these cards are talking about why this whole situation is happening, and why essentially it needed to happen, or why you are in this place right now. So with both of these cards coming out in reverse, there is an element of someone being a bit too impulsive in the past. So there have been some decisions made, some moves made that were maybe a bit too hasty, or that weren't really well thought through, that were just sort of spur of the moment sort of thoughts or plans that emerged and that were followed, and that ultimately led to a place of lack, or a place of unfulfillment and disappointment and hardship. Challenges, right? The Five of Pentacles is a rather challenging card, and it talks about needs not being met. It talks about feeling like you don't have what you want, what you need, what you require to feel safe and to feel like your basic survival needs are being met, essentially, if we get really, really dramatic about it. Yeah, it feels like whatever these choices or actions were with the Knight of Swords that were made in the past, they brought about significant challenges and possibly even like more severe consequences than were even imagined. So whether this is you, whether this is, your relationship partner or someone in this connection, or whether this is someone else making these moves and, you sort of being affected by it somehow, it just feels like someone was really hasty and thoughtless, reckless in their behavior. And that led to some really undesirable outcomes. Also, the other thing that I'm feeling here with these two cards is that potentially there wasn't very clear communication, especially if we're talking about a relationship that you are in with someone else and you're trying to get this relationship back on track, right? Potentially, I feel like there wasn't very clear communication about what it is that you need and how these needs were not being met in the relationship. Again, so whether this was you holding back on your true sort of feelings and thoughts and needs, or whether this was someone else. Sorry, I don't know why it's not focusing again. There we go. So whether this was you holding back, or whether this was your partner holding back, or whether this was both of you, right? It just indicates that there was some secrecy or some unclear communication, some communication issues when it came to expressing what you need and what you feel is lacking from the relationship as it is. Or again, if this is like a solo journey, then what is lacking from your life, or what is lacking from this journey that you're currently on. So that is basically what the past influences are that have led to this current situations and that needed to be remedied. So now we get to the current energies with the Four of Swords in reverse and the Two of Cups. And so the Two of Cups is a very clear indication that this whole situation is talking about your connection to someone else. That there's definitely at least two people that are involved in this whole situation, and that this is a very significant connection. Now, of course, again, if we're talking about a solo journey, then this could indicate a connection between you and your higher self, or your sort of outer persona, or the 3D version of you, and then the more soul, the more spiritual version of you, and bringing those two into alignment. But with the Four of Swords coming out in reverse, I feel like this current situation, one of the most important things that you need to hear about this situation as a whole is that it is time to get moving with the Four of Swords in reverse, because it is indicating that things have been sort of either contemplated or just sat on, or just in a bit of a non-active place for a bit too long. And now it's time to break out of that and take some action again. Especially with the Two of Cups, there is this need to harmonize, the energies, again, within this relationship or within yourself, to really find a solid connection, or to find some place where you could see eye to eye, some place where you could connect, where you could find common ground. And yeah, so this whole energy feels ultimately really, really healing. And with the Two of Cups, again, especially if this is talking about a relationship, it is indicating that this relationship is something that is almost on like a soul level. This is very, very spiritual, very almost like I don't want to say karmic, but it just feels like this is a very significant relationship in your life, possibly like a soulmate type of thing. Yeah, this feels significant. Or again, this could be a very important connection that you have within yourself that you need to follow, right? And finally, we have the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands in reverse. The Queen of Wands being a card of Aries, but it can talk about any fire sign. The Knight of Wands is a card of Sagittarius. So we're getting two fire signs, and I'm just pointing out the signs in case they mean something to you. But yeah, so, whether this is Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius energy, all of the fire signs apply. Also with the Knight of Swords, I think I forgot to mention we had Gemini energy here, or just air energy in general. So that would be Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. But these two cards are talking about where this whole situation is leading you. And with the Queen of Wands, this is clearly a lot more passionate, invested and driven, and just a lot more in control of the situation again, right? Because we were talking about things sort of possibly falling off the rails there for a bit. And the Queen of Wands is saying that, you know, there is a very high opportunity to get back in charge of the whole situation and to, you know, almost like reinvigorate or re-spark this whole thing. And with the Knight of Wands coming out in reverse, this is a clear message. Again, I'm going to show you the upright illustration as well. This is a clear message of getting out of a place of impulsiveness, or, you know, almost like flitting from one thing to the next, because the Knight of Wands can be, especially when it comes out in reverse, it can be somewhat flighty or, you know, not very reliable, and just getting a new whim or a new source of inspiration so often that they don't necessarily end up actually following through and getting to the destination that they want to arrive at. And so this is just, again, as I said, taking control of this whole situation and getting you to a much more stable and a much more focused place where you have a much clearer indication of what it is that you want to achieve, or where you want to end up in, and what you need to do to get there. So yeah, this is very, very positive, pile number 3. But I want to close the reading out with a supportive message from your spirit guides. So let's see what they have to tell you about this whole reading. Okay, so the message that we got is, I freeze what I no longer want. So essentially what your spirit guides are saying is that you can eliminate the things that you don't want to be a part of your journey or moving forward, or what you don't want to be a part of your future. And I also kind of get the message, again, this is more specific to the scenario of you being in a relationship, or this whole thing talking about a connection that you're trying to make work again. It feels like this is indicating that it's also important not to dredge up stuff from the past, that whatever happened that, you know, drove you to this place that you needed to start mending, that you needed to start finding a way back to each other, whatever those reasons were, it's not good to dwell on them, and it's not good to keep bringing them back to the surface or constantly bringing them up again. So basically this is suggesting like a very radical approach to these, right? Just freeze them, just, you know, zone them out and put them aside, put them in a mental box if you need to. Just sort of make peace with them. Don't allow them to keep simmering or bringing up some frustrations again, or to keep lingering and having this power over your relationship and over your dynamic, because it's in the past, it happened, you can't undo it. There is nothing, this whole card is almost like a wintry frozen energy, right? So there is no undoing it, there is no life here anymore. And so it's just best to leave it as it is, try and forget about it as much as you can, or even if you don't have to like forget about it in a sense that it's like it didn't happen or something like that. Obviously that's not really even possible to do, but the point here is to not allow it to stay an active part of this relationship. Or even if this is, again, talking about your solo journey, the mistakes that you made, they don't have to be something that you constantly beat yourself up over, right? At the bottom of the deck, we have, from tiny things, big things can grow. So I feel like this is just a very sweet little reminder and encouragement that all of the little steps that you are taking are going to be the things that end up making this whole achievement. Or, you know, it's these tiny little things. It's this dedicated journey that you are on, and just putting one foot in front of the other and staying dedicated to the goal that ends up taking you to where you need to end up, essentially. And so that there is a lot of potential here. There is a lot of possibility of growth and of achieving what it is that you want, but it just takes dedication and just staying with the task that you are working on, right? So that's it, pile number 3. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me. I truly appreciate it, and I hope that this reading was somewhat useful or at least entertaining for you to watch. And as always, I hope to see you back on this channel very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 4. Now, I quickly want to say a huge thank you for the likes, the comments, and the subscribes that you have shared, because it helps out this channel in more ways than you know, and I truly, truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, so thank you. But let's get into it. So you chose the cherry card. And this card talks all about listening to your own needs and finding balance in the different areas of your life. So it could very well be that you are trying to find moderation in things that you are doing, as well as possibly evening out the scales as well in your relationships, where maybe you have been focusing more on the other person's needs and maybe your own needs have been sort of neglected a bit or haven't really been acknowledged as much. And so this is a time where things are falling back into balance, where things are sort of becoming a bit more even. And yeah, it feels like you are starting to really pay attention more to what it is that your body is telling you that it needs. And so I'm getting a very empowering energy off of this cherry card. But let's focus on the pre-prepared oracle cards, which are going to tell us all about what is going on in your life that your spirit guides deem most important at this time. So as you are listening to these messages, hopefully it will become very clear for you whether you are resonating with this and whether you are watching the right pile. Okay, so we have the lotus, leaf, opportunity, healing magic and restoration, motivation, and the elephant. Pile number 4, it looks as though you are truly in a place where you are focusing on preparing yourself for the future success and really getting yourself into as strong a position as you possibly can. I want to start off with this restoration card, which is at the center of this reading. And this card also represents the last quarter moon, which is all about also, you know, replenishing or focusing on healing and really turning the focus inward as this whole big journey has been gone through, and now it's time to take it a bit more easy and take stock of how you are feeling, what it is that you learn from this whole situation, and how you could best move forward, and what it is that you need right now to you know, get yourself back to a very solid and secure place. So clearly there has been some sort of ordeal that you have gone through, or there have been possibly some trying times. And I'm saying it especially because of these two cards here. We have this lotus card and we have this elephant. And so the lotus card very much makes me think of resilience and just pushing through the muck, the mud, the difficulty, all of the heaviness and the dreariness and the darkness that the lotus flower has to sort of, you know, push through in order to bloom. And it's not easy, but in the end, it's worth it. You know, you get to this blooming beauty, this really, really fulfilling state. And also with the elephant, there is an element of strength here too, you know, of just keeping going and being super resilient and super dedicated to your whole journey. And for some reason, I also feel a certain kind of healing energy with the elephant, which I don't normally usually associate with the elephant necessarily, but there is something very healing about it. And especially when it comes to again, the journey that you have been on, the experiences that you have gone through, the past, and all of that, you know, that entails, all of the baggage that the past has, you know, gifted you. So it does feel like you are trying very hard to push through these difficulties that you have experienced, and possibly some hardships that you may still be experiencing. And you're trying to find ways to turn these difficulties into a place of strength, into a place where you can motivate yourself, where you can push yourself forward, where you can find this extra fuel to, you know, aim higher, achieve more, all of these things. With this opportunity card too, I feel like there is a twofold message. On the one hand, I feel like there is an opportunity for you to like take things a bit more slowly now, or take things a bit more easy. As we were talking with the cherry card, most likely there is an element of you know, focusing on your needs and restoring yourself, getting yourself back to this equilibrium and this more balanced state. So I feel like there is an opportunity in that way. But I also feel like, again, there is an opportunity here to level up somehow, or to reach the next stage, to move up in some way. And that seems to be a very significant element here. So it kind of almost feels like you have been, you know, working towards something possibly that has taken a long time, and it has taken you, or it has taken a lot out of you to even get to this place that you are in right now. And you have definitely learned a lot, and you have definitely grown and gotten a lot more wise in the process. But at the same time, you are not necessarily there yet. You are not where you want yourself, or where you want to see yourself. And so in this moment right now, it feels like you are trying to get yourself to, again, to this more balanced out, more grounded place where you would have more strength and more resilience to keep pushing towards that end goal that you see for yourself. And also you are in a very auspicious place to actually, you know, again, restore yourself, take stock of what it is that you need and how you need to adjust your moves, making progress, you know, forward. That would help you to get to where you want to go more easily or more efficiently, right? So it's almost like you're using all of these past experiences, all of the knowledge and the wisdom that you have gained, and putting it into use to make the best moves for yourself, or to put yourself in the best position for success, right? You are turning it into an opportunity for growth, for expansion. So that's what I'm feeling here for you, pile number 4. If you could resonate with this energy, then make sure to keep on watching, because we are going to be looking at the tarot cards next, where all of these necessary messages from your spirit guides are going to be coming in. So more specifically, we are going to be looking at what's the underlying cause or reason for your current situation, why that needed to happen. Then we're going to look at what you need to know about this current situation that you are in. And finally, what your spirit guides want you to know about the future direction that this situation is taking you to. Okay, so pile number 4, I have to say first and foremost, out of the 6 cards here, we have 4 cards that are number 3. And so 4 threes, especially in such a small tarot reading, truly indicates expansion, growth, development, you know, abundance, basically just growing and developing. And again, as I said, reaching new levels, reaching new heights. So you are definitely in a growth sort of a space right now, and that's where you are headed as well. But let's just start from the beginning. The first 2 cards that we got are the 3 of Cups in reverse and the Chariot. The Chariot is a card of Cancer, which you can also see on this card here too. And these 2 cards are symbolizing what is the underlying cause for this whole situation that you are in right now. Now, the 3 of Cups in reverse is very clearly an indication of a lack of balance when it comes to relationships and when it comes to enjoying life and spending time with friends, spending time socializing, spending time, just relaxing and having a good time in general. Because the Three of Cups is a very, very joyous card, and a card of celebration, a card of coming together, and a card of bounty, right? Of enjoying the fruits of your labor and enjoying everything that is good and everything that is abundant in your life with the people that you love and that love you as well. So when the Three of Cups comes out in reverse, this is just a clear indication that there hasn't really been time for that, or that those sorts of connections have been missing from your life, or they have been lacking. And with the Chariot, this is a very clear indication that there has been possibly too much focus on your ambitions and your career or work goals and the things that you want to achieve. And again, this is very positive, obviously, having ambition and having drive towards, seeing something come to life or just really take off, right? Pulling all of this passion that you have into the actual tangible material world. That is an amazing thing. And obviously that is something to be celebrated. But possibly with the Three of Cups in reverse coming out right next to it, there has been too much of one and not enough of the other. And so possibly you could have experienced some burnout-like symptoms, or just starting to feel like you are getting a bit worn down, or maybe even the people around you who felt like they weren't really getting enough of you in their lives, right? That there was a deficit of this closeness, of this socializing, of this relating to you. Maybe they have said something to you, or maybe they, made their feelings known to you, or they just let you know that they miss you and they feel that they don't have enough time with you, or they don't have enough access to you, or something like that. Or possibly it was something that you came to realize on your own. But either way, it feels like this imbalance and lack of emotional support and fulfillment, and just sort of, again, taking it a bit more easy, allowing yourself to replenish these energy reserves and to keep these emotional fires burning. That seems to be what essentially has led to you being in this place right now, where you are sort of taking things more or getting things more into balance. Now, we have the Empress and the Three of Wands in reverse coming out next. And these two cards are talking about what it is that you need to know about this situation that you are in right now, what your spirit guides want you to know. Now, the Empress is a card of Venus, and Venus is associated with both Libra and Taurus. And I'm just pointing out the signs in case you resonate with them. But basically, the Empress is saying that right now, you are still very much in an energy of expansion and growth and development. But it is the kind of growth and development that is possibly happening on the inside, or that is happening more subtly around you in the energetic realm. So, the Empress is the epitome of the divine feminine, and it's a representation of needing to be receptive, needing to surrender, needing to just go with the flow and, sit in stillness, let things come to you, let energy come to you. You don't have to go out and chase anything. The Empress draws energy in. And so this is very much a time where the growth and development is still happening in that regard. And it's very important to not feel like you are just wasting time, or like you're not doing anything useful because you are not necessarily putting as much energy or focus into all of these ambitions and these goals that you have. But it's important to realize that you are growing in a different way, and you are allowing things, sort of the space and the energy to bloom, to blossom, right? You don't have to be very hands-on all the time to make things happen. So that's really what the Empress is here to represent. And with the Three of Wands in reverse, your spirit guides are saying that this is not the time to go ahead and push forward, or to take on even more tasks, or even more new visions or challenges, right? Because the Three of Wands is essentially, again, a card of expansion. It's about widening your horizons and incorporating even more elements or new people or new aspects to whatever your vision or goal or project is. But with it coming out in reverse, your spirit guides are quite plainly saying that this is not the time to do that. And I feel like this is especially significant message here, that even if you put things on hold, like this active part, even if you allow yourself the time to breathe, to relax, to replenish, and to really, again, focus on your needs, focus on what it is that your body is telling you. This card, the Empress specifically, is very much in touch with your physical senses, because we are dealing with Venus, the planet of pleasure, the planet of love, the planet of self-care and luxury. And so it's very, very important to pay attention to those things right now. And I feel like the universe is very much helping you. Your spirit guides are very much helping you do that. They are giving you the space to focus on these things so that you could be your truly best self and have the most energy and the most resources to push ahead to see these goals actually manifest. And I feel like, especially if you are someone who struggles a bit with the more softer aspects of life, and being more in that surrendered or receptive flow of life, and just allowing things to sort of come to you, right? Without, being in that masculine energy, that driver's seat energy, who just makes things happen and goes after things and pushes things forward, then I feel like this is potentially a very, very significant lesson for you, something that you can truly learn from, that will help you also down the line, so that you wouldn't end up burning yourself out, right? Or burning the candle at both ends. And finally, we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse with the Three of Swords in reverse. And these two cards are talking about where this whole situation is leading you, what your spirit guides want you to know about where the situation is leading you. And I actually want to start off with the Three of Swords in reverse, because this is saying that basically you are being protected from arriving at a place where you feel a very huge sense of disappointment, or where you feel like you have lost out on something, or where you find yourself in a place that is very difficult to handle. Because the Three of Swords is a card of heartache. It is a card of loss and difficulty and sadness. And this is like a very painful lesson, because threes are all about, as I said, growth, expansion, development. And with the swords element, or the sword suit, this is all about gaining that development or growth, but intellectually, right? The way you see things and in your perspective, in your worldview. But this is one of those things where that growth happens through pain, so that you could remember the lesson, right? But when it comes out in reverse, essentially, your spirit guides are protecting you from arriving at that place, and making sure that you don't end up feeling disappointed, or feeling like you have lost important people, important connections to you, or sacrificed too much because you didn't invest enough into these, more soft aspects of life. Again, this could be in your own health, in your own well-being, in your mental health, in the relationships in your life, in your family connections, all of those things that are seemingly a whole different area from whatever this goal is that you have been working towards, or whatever this ambition is that you have for yourself. The Ace of Pentacles, when it comes out in reverse, I'm just going to show you the upright version here too. This is a card of investments. This is a card of realizing that you have something of value to manage, and this is all about potential, right? This is all about starting to build something. But because this is the Pentacle suit, this is talking about worth. This is talking about things that are going to have long-term effects. And yeah, I feel like your spirit guides really don't want you to get to a place where you could possibly have regrets over the things that you didn't end up doing, or the time and the resources that you didn't end up investing in the things that actually truly matter to you the most. Or even if we just talk about this goal that you have, right, with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the Three of Swords in reverse, this is saying that with this whole situation where you are taking time out, there is much bigger chance of actually arriving to that goal and feeling good about it, rather than, you know, feeling like you kind of ended up in a place that you didn't really want to end up in, or that things didn't fully turn out the way that you had initially planned them to be, right? Again, with the Ace of Pentacles here, this is about that like initial investment, initial idea, initial plan, initial steps to, you know, see that Ten of Pentacles come to life at the end of the journey. So yeah, however way you want to see this message, I feel like your spirit guides are truly having your back and protecting you from this painful lesson. So yeah, this is a very sweet message, pile number 4, I have to say, and I hope that you see that way too, or see it that way too. But I want to close the reading out with some supportive messages from your spirit guides. These are some really sweet and loving affirmations. So let's see what your spirit guides, how they want to support you. Okay, so we got, I don't have to know everything all the time. I love this message for you, pile number 4, because it really takes the pressure off of you. Again, you know, with this Empress energy, as I was saying, you don't have to always be in the driver's seat. You don't always have to plan all of the steps and take a very proactive role in everything, you know, because you can't control everything, right? That's impossible. And so every now and again, reminding yourself that you are only human and that you do need time to also take care of yourself and take care of the relationships in your life. I feel like it's a very healthy place to be. And again, as I said, it takes the pressure off of you to always be, you know, always be prepared, always be in this like tense place where you feel like you constantly need to be responsible for everything and you constantly need to take action and be in this like energized position. So you don't always have to do that, and you don't always have to know exactly how things are going to pan out next. You can do your bit, and then, you know, you can just see how the universe responds, what life has in store for you, right? And so it's this like collaborative effort. It's not just you making things happen in like a vacuum, right? So yeah, as I said, I really love that message for you. And at the bottom of the deck, we have, I am made from the stuff of stars. I matter. So yeah, again, I feel like your spirit guides really want to remind you just how important it is for you to value not just whatever it is that you are trying to achieve, but also to value the vessel that you are living in, right? As you are going through this human experience, and to realize that you are important and everything that you feel matters. So when you feel tired, it matters. When you feel like you don't have enough support, or when you feel like you don't have enough love or affection or closeness or, you know, time, then those things matter, and those are important to pay attention to and, you know, focus on resolving. And I also feel like saying that even if you don't have all of the things that you want to achieve, even if you don't have as much money as you would like to have, or you don't have all of the fanciest things, or the car that you want to drive, or the dream home that you feel like you really want to live in, even if you don't have all of these things, you still have worth, you still have value. Without all of these things that you are accomplishing and, you know, bringing about in the material, tangible, material, did I say material? Sorry. You know, financial way, like you still matter, right? You have, your worth is inherent. It's not dependent on the things outside of you. So anyway, this is it, pile number 4. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me. I truly appreciate it. And I hope that this reading was useful or insightful, or at the very least entertaining for you. And as always, I hope to see you back on this channel very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.